My name is Matthew Kay, and this is a story about my time and my experience being friends with Andre Agassi. So when I was 5, my family and I, we used to travel every March to a little island in Florida called Fisher Island. And this was the same time that Andre Agassi was participating in the tennis tournament down in Florida. And he would stay at the hotel, same hotel we were staying at. There's only one on the island. And every once in a while, we'd see him driving around in his golf cart or eating lunch at the same place where we would eat, or sitting on the beach. And I don't know what compelled me, but one lunch, I decided to go up to him. And I was young, I didn't really know who he was, but my grandfather was a huge tennis fan. And he would tell me stories of Andre Agassi's huge victories. And so I went up to Andre Agassi and, I introduced myself, and I said that my grandfather was a huge fan, and that I was learning to play tennis even at the age of 5. And something pretty interesting happened. He didn't look at me as just another little kid. He really looked at me as a person. He treated me as an equal. He didn't treat me as less than. But, so we talked and we parted ways, and I would see him around the island throughout the vacation, and eventually he coined a nickname for me. He would call me his buddy. So I'd see him in the grocery store on the island. He'd say, "Hey buddy," or I'd see him at dinner with him and his wife. And he'd say, "Hey buddy, how you doing?" And we'd talk a little bit, and I drew a picture of him and me playing tennis, and I was losing. And then I drew another picture of me and Pete Sampras playing tennis, and I was winning. And I had him sign the one of me and him. And every year since then, when we went back, Andre Agassi would remember me, and he knew my name. And we went back with the same time he did for, I'd say, about 6 years. So for about 6 years, Andre and I had an interesting relationship, and we would talk, and it was really an important event in my life, I think. It almost taught me subconsciously to not be intimidated by people, that status or fame didn't make someone not just a regular person. He was just a regular guy like my dad or my grandfather. And I carry that with me today. I think that I still don't have such a trouble talking to people, whether they be really famous or just a guy on the street or a teacher. And it probably has a lot to do with that experience, because he didn't treat me as lower than him, even though I was 5, 6, 7. He treated me as an equal. And when we moved to where I live now, Scarsdale, vacation time switched to February. And we still went to the island, but Andre was no longer there. But my grandparents would go back in March. And about 6 years having not seen Andre Agassi, my grandfather decided to go up to him one March in the elevator. Actually, they had met in the elevator, and my grandfather turned to him and said, "Mr. Agassi, I don't know if you remember me." And he said, "Of course I do. You're Matthew's grandfather." And that's my story.